Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there an extra pen in there that I can borrow?
Yep.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Wyatt.
Here.
Engel is absent. Reister.
Here.
Bunce.
Present.
And Stabell is absent.
And on the agenda, I want to add Patrick Goodnick as a citizens request, and Jeff Gooden, pardon me. Jeff Goodnick and Gooden. Motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved 3-0. Consent agenda, anything to remove? If not, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 3-0. Citizens request. Patrick, why don't you go first?
Okay, guys, I am Patrick Goodnick. I'm a Cedar Falls resident. I am a committee member for the 7th annual Ride and Drive for the girls that were lost in Evansdale 7 years ago. We are going to be coming through Hudson on July 13th. We're going to be coming down to Zanetta Blacktop and turning into town. You guys have all got the route right there and ending up at the Federal Pub. We're going to spend about 45 minutes or so in town. What we're looking for is community support. If you guys can get the citizens out there and kind of give them what our route is going to be, we'd like it to be kind of a parade to go through town. And in that way they can see the bikes, and it'll bring awareness, and it will bring, keep the memory of the girls, in our minds. So this year we're working on starting our own nonprofit. Right now, all proceeds we're getting from any donations of this ride, 50% goes to Angels Park, 50% goes to Crime Stoppers.
And you're expecting 300 to 400 bikes that you've had?
300 to 400 bikes that we've had in the past, weather's good, and then numerous cars. So if we can get some of the streets downtown blocked off, we're only going to be here for about an hour.
Okay.
Now, I talked to Officer
Marsh?
Dietrich
Okay.
on Sunday. He said he would more than likely be on shift that day. I asked if we could get another officer just that day, just for that hour, just to help block on 58, help block on 63. The more police presence we get there, maybe one on the north, one on the south, the safer we're going to be getting, all the way through town and stuff like that. So he said that, the chief has got to approve that, and he's on vacation till next Monday.
Right.
So, if someone can touch base with him and then get a hold of me, you guys have all got my business card, copy my business card there, that would be great.
Okay.
Have you done this through Hudson before?
This is my first year on the committee, so.
They haven't formally come to us and come through, but
Yeah, it's obviously the places that would be good to be blocked off is the parking lot back here, the parking lot here,
yeah, somewhere to
some of the
park.
street by the elevator, because that could be a good street to
What
park
day
on.
is it?
July 13th,
Is that a,
Saturday.
July 13th is a Saturday, so it's the Saturday before Hudson Days.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because that would be a problem.
Yeah, very good.
The one thing I have a question here, you said it says sheriff's assistance with Schrock Road in 21. You guys
Well,
already have the sheriff coming out, right?
I'm going this week to Tama County Sheriff down in Tama Toledo, and talking with dispatch and all the higher ups there so that they know what's going on. I already spoke with the lead dispatcher down there this week or last week, and spoke with her about 10 minutes, and she said, sounds like what you've got your route written out. If you bring your route in like you've got right now, there's absolutely no problem with getting the sheriffs to assist at those intersections.
What about Tony, in Blackhawk County?
I haven't touched base with him yet.
Okay, make sure you do.
Yeah, we've got the chief of police in Waterloo that's pretty tight with Tony, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Blackhawk County is definitely on my thing, and I'm working on going around to each city and sitting in on a council meeting in each city so you guys can know when we're coming, when we're going to be there, what our route is going to be, so that there's awareness for this. You guys are all on the same page. In the past, the route has kind of been a secret. For me, that's I like to keep all my ducks in a row, and I like to keep all my ducks in front of me. And that way, we're safe, we're prepared, we know what's going on. We can get the whole community out here and have basically a parade. Sure, we're going to have a lot of nice bikes, a lot of nice cars.
Yep.
Have you talked with, somebody's talked with the Federal Pub, they know that it's coming?
Oh yeah. And we're printing up, we're getting 250 more posters tomorrow. We went through 250 in 2 days in Waterloo, so we're just getting posters up wherever we can. I've got these business cards right here. I've got another 500 coming next Tuesday. Somebody grab this. And then these are just great, if someone can get those in their hands, you lay them down on the table, they're bright enough, they draw your attention, and then that tells everybody, you know, where we're going, what time we're starting, and it's got a picture of the girls in front.
When it goes to Crime Stoppers, is that going toward like a reward for conviction, or is that
It
just?
goes to county sheriffs, it goes to local cops, it goes to Crime Stoppers, decides exactly wherever they want that money to go.
Great.
I will say that we have city council, Chamber of Commerce meeting this week too. We
Oh,
can certainly
yep.
take this over to them and let our businesses know that it's coming through, so that's not
That'd
a
be
problem.
great.
Where are the
That'd be great.
posters at, or how can we get posters?
I'm working on getting posters. They're getting printed off at Dickey's Printing tomorrow, so, and I'm in touch with Drew. Drew is the father of the niece and the daughter that we lost. And his mom and I worked with his mom at Johnson's Bakery, so we're really good friends. She's touching base with me tomorrow when she gets posters, then I can bring posters down and drop off 15 or so at City Hall.
That'd be
Would that
great.
work for you guys?
Yep.
You guys can decide where the best places are to, you know, put them up. You know, I know there's some up at the Federal Pub already.
Okay.
We've already got some of those business cards out at you know, here in town, but I wanna get more of those out, so the more they're out there, you know, it's not like a sheet of paper, you know, that there you
Yeah.
have something to hold on
Yeah.
to.
So is Ron anticipating to be able to handle the whole crowd, or?
Well, he's just gonna do, I think he's just gonna do like a small buffet table outside. There's not gonna be a whole lot of drinking, we're just coming in, if somebody wants to grab a quick bite. Once we get back to Lofty's in Evansdale, Steakhouse in Cedar Falls,
Texas Roadhouse?
Texas Roadhouse is catering the whole thing.
Okay.
So if you buy
So I-
The
anything,
main thing is out there.
So you
Yeah,
know if
yeah,
they were
yeah.
going to expect to
Is
get a
this-
drink, do you think there'll be overflow to
Triangle?
the triangle, and
Yep,
would,
yep, yeah, definitely.
would maybe
Definitely.
the AMVets want to be open?
See, I just
Okay.
stopped, I stopped and got highlighters at the grocery, and I saw someone getting off a bike at the Federal Pub, pulled across the street, and the guy says, oh, we're getting ready to have an AMVET meeting right now, and he says, I'll
Yeah.
bring this up.
Yep.
So, and he
Okay.
was the lieutenant.
I'll touch
and-
base, I'm a member of the auxiliary, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
so, I mean,
runs.
They were having an all AMVET meeting tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. like
At 6
this.
o'clock, so I couldn't do the both
Do
at
both.
the same time.
Well, and this was
License?
a meeting about our kitchen.
Or
Okay,
donations included in that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got, well,
Is it
he's got the outdoor service privilege on his license, but he has to indicate what dates he wants. He might, and I think he just did that, he might have included the 13th.
I was just gonna say, cause he would've done it for Hudson Days, so I didn't know if he had done that too, which would be a good idea.
Is that another bar there in the pub? Because I know there's a bar here in town that's up for sale, so.
The Triangle.
It's on the
Triangle.
corner.
Okay,
Yeah, there's technically 3, cause the AMVets has a bar in it too, so they
Right.
could be
So
open
they're all right
actually.
close together.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, like we say, we're gonna try to be in and out of town, in and at or about an hour. Mike and I, another committee member, we went out and drove the route on Sunday, and our times are pretty well dead on to what I've got here. I've gotta make a few modifications to my spreadsheet here for routes, but that's all the way in Gilbertville and south of you guys. So I mean, you guys, your route is locked in,
Okay.
those roads are set in stone.
Good to know.
And in
fun.
the future, if we come through again, it might be a different route, but I'm gonna come out and speak to you guys before it happens.
Appreciate it.
You're gonna know exactly where we're going, the dates we're going, and you know, what we'd like to have, you know, from the public, because I'm only one person.
Yep.
You know, I'm on disability, I do my woodworking stuff out of my shop, but right now, I'm the guy that can kind of cover bases,
Mhm.
you know, other than the guys that are working 9 to 5, so.
Sounds good.
Well, appreciate the heads up, because that way we can help you out and be organized as much as we can.
We're a month and a week out right now, you know, next time I'd like to be like 2 months out, and that way you guys can have a little
Sure.
bit more of a heads up and, you know, get the route planned out, you know, a little bit further ahead of time. And we just had our first committee meeting a month ago, so we decided we're gonna have our first committee meetings in February or April, somewhere around there, just to get, you know, everything.
Well, let's make sure that we take good notes to see what works and what doesn't work this year.
George, can you give me
Yeah,
back that
yeah.
business card, the one with the picture of the girls on it?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, on Tuesday I'll have 500 of those, so
Okay.
I'll bring a little stack of them up, drop them up at City Hall too.
Super. Appreciate it, Patrick.
All right, thanks guys.
thanks.
Jeff, you're next.
Oh, boy.
Did you follow that up?
No, I didn't know that. If I'd have known you were coming.
I've been in customer relations for almost 30 years, so.
I'm one of those quiet accounting persons.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll have trouble with this.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Nice to meet
you.
Nice to meet you too.
And Jeff, I passed around the email to the council so they're aware of it. And on your questions that you had posed regarding the SWIP, you were right, because that's more than an acre for the whole park comes into play. And what Kate's advised, she worked with Jerry Williams. Jerry Williams is gonna get that seeded and burlapped over it, so it'll act like SWIP. If you can't get that done, then Tom Peterson's gonna get the SWIP protection.
I think they just did it.
Did they?
Right when I was
Yeah.
getting.
They might have, we talked
We had
about
a
it.
gap, normally our building inspector goes around the city for SWIP, but we did not fill out a building permit for it because it was a city project. We're not gonna start doing building permits for city projects, so we have a cross-check on that.
Okay, and then what about the cement clean out?
The cement
Also
clean out-
required, or is that part of that?
Well, what it is a cement clean out is necessary if you're washing down. Now, what we don't know is supposedly if they did not wash down, they didn't need a clean out, but I wasn't around to know if they had sprayed down to wash out. Definitely, it's required for
They
a
did it-
washout.
Yeah, they did it right on the street.
Did they?
And as I was telling, they tried to spread some of it on the alley right next to my house.
Okay, and that's where you got the chunk of
And
cement?
that's where there was
Okay.
the baseball, softball size chunks of cement when
Yeah.
I found when I was mowing lawn.
Yep.
And like I said, I kinda got a little
Right.
perturbed and threw them all back
Understood.
across in the pile.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
admit it. But if you about tripped over them while you were mowing lawn,
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
probably do the same thing.
And that's the same way, Steve also checks for that on building sites to make sure if there wasn't, but because we screwed up and didn't have a building permit process, he was
Yeah.
spending his time looking at all the houses and everything else that was going on.
So if you look right at the end of the alley, right by
Mhm.
my house, it's grayish color. So-
Is it?
So you know it's not just gravel, it's
Sure.
cement they were trying
Yep.
to
No,
do
for
there.
sure.
So, I mean, I don't know what, I mean, obviously, I don't really want you guys to get a penalty or anything, but,
Yeah,
I mean, it just,
Yep.
should've been something that.
no, agreed. Well, and penalties come into play if DNR drives by and finds a violation, they're the ones that set the penalties, so
Right.
we were fortunate in this case, we did not do what was necessary to be done, but we did not receive a penalty because DNR did not come through and see us in violation, and now that we've got the stuff up there.
Okay.
So, appreciate you bringing it to
It
our
was learning
attention.
curve, we haven't
Yeah.
done a project like that for.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and I guess I'll just continue on.
Sure.
Just a couple other things that, you know, I keep thinking, I probably shouldn't do this, but, you know, it's, sometimes when you get a little worked up, things pop in your mind, and you
Mhm,
start researching things, and so, but as far as, you know, I wish I would've been notified earlier about this whole, how close it was gonna be. I mean, you know, like I said, the only reason I have Facebook, I told George this, is my daughter created it because she wanted to have a father, because it just said father pending on her Facebook, so she created one for me. I don't get on there, we don't get the paper, we haven't got the paper since my son graduated in 2013.
Mhm.
My wife knows what goes on at the school, so,
Mhm.
you know, she's involved that way, so if there's anything we need to know there, but as far as city stuff.
Yeah.
And just a little background too, I mean, we've lived in this house for 25 years, we moved October of 1994, sorry. And we've lived in Hudson for 30 years now, she just finished her 30th year teaching, that's what brought us here. But I guess some of our other concerns, you know, about I mean, I hope there's gonna be some rules, and we talked a little bit about this
Yeah.
Saturday morning, but I assume there's gonna be rules that are gonna be posted. What are the hours gonna be? I guess one of our biggest ones, I assume that the park hours are from 9 to 9, I think is what.
No, they're 7 AM to 10 PM.
But on the turn off, Kate's working on that from the standpoint of what's gonna be the best hours, because we have control on the time we open it up, the time we shut it off. It probably won't be a 7 AM turn on, but we'll have to watch for the noise
Yeah,
factor
And I kind of
point.
prefer not to 10 o'clock
Yeah,
too.
we'll watch it from that standpoint.
Yeah, so, because otherwise, I mean, you're talking 12 hours, 7 days a week. And from when to when, I assume probably Memorial Day, Labor Day kind of thing.
Probably around that neighborhood, yeah.
But I mean, that's a lot of activity
In a park.
with,
Mhm. I mean, I get it, but it's parked.
I
so-
get it, cause I live on the other side of the park,
Yeah.
and
You got
so I
playground
get
equipment.
all that noise.
There's no lights on it either, so it's not gonna be on past dark,
Yeah.
you know, but
So-
it is, you know.
I mean, we've never really had trouble with noise before. I mean, we don't, like, if you live on the other side.
Yeah, we live
there
on
probably
the-
is a little more, but.
With the
I
shelter
mean,
there and all the
Kinda my
things.
thing is, that, none of this was there when we moved there.
Oh, but the park's been there for 100 years.
Understand, but
Mhm.
not with cold water squirting on kids and
No.
screaming, so.
It's-
Just saying.
It's
I mean,
progress, yep, that's what we're trying to do.
couple other things, you could say there's gonna be a fence,
Mhm.
probably not gonna be supervised by any sort of
Nope.
employee.
Nope.
Um,
But
Is there
the
gonna
gate
be-
will be locked and unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be a locked gate, okay, I wasn't sure.
okay,
But we really controlled by the time we got the computer allowed to be
Yeah,
turned
it's
on.
only allowed to,
Okay.
I mean, it only works when you push the button.
is there gonna be garbage can, is there gonna be garbage going around, okay? These are just things that have come
Yeah,
up with.
Yeah, again, we're not
well,
even
there-
open yet, so I don't, you know,
Right.
don't jump to conclusions
Right.
here, because we had that with the apartments too and everything else.
Yeah, yep.
That it's not even open yet, so
Right.
until we have police for a reason to be able to police and and fix problems.
Yep.
But it's a park, and we want kids to use our park, and we want amenities to bring people into town, which is why I've spent 1.5 years
Yep.
doing this. So it's, yeah, I mean, we're all up for discussion with it, but don't get it ahead of the course, you know,
Right.
the cart before the horse is what I wanna make sure, so.
And, is there gonna be like an upper age limit? So high school, college kids, if they. can
Adults.
How do you,
adults.
how do you police it? I mean, I'm not gonna put a
Well,
camera up there and
there's
say,
rules. If you post the rules, people are supposed to follow rules.
so you
Which-
can't have a babysitter in there with the kids that are in there?
No, they're supervising somebody that's younger.
But how do you just, you know,
Well,
you can't
I-
say
I
that you
don't-
can't be in here,
I
but
don't
you
know the
can.
answer.
I think at this point, we won't be posting any age limits, so we'll just
Oh.
have to watch it and see if we start to have an issue with something, we'll figure out how to address it.
And then, okay, so this leads to one other thing about rules and people following the rules. But, I've noticed this before, but now that, this has come about again, I've really started noticing again. The golf cart rules, I assume people are gonna be riding their golf carts there.
They're legal to ride on the street, I mean, you can't ride them into the yard.
Exactly.
I agree, I see, it
Yesterday,
do it.
yesterday, there was 3 golf carts in the park.
drives me crazy.
Driving on the sidewalk in the park.
Yeah.
So, and also just, and I know you don't have control maybe over school property, but, it is part of the city, I don't know. But, my wife took tickets the other night at the baseball, softball, soccer game,
Mhm.
and people were, they'd pay her and they would drive the cart in to watch along the
Yeah.
softball.
I've seen
baseball.
There needs to be,
Yeah, they'll have to be,
I mean,
there's one that parks up here at the triangle too every night that drives me crazy. Your car, your license on the street, park on the street like a car. So that needs to, we need to address that with public safety
Okay.
because that's happening
So
all
when
over the
people
place.
get their golf cart license, whatever it is,
Mhm.
are they given the rules?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, there is a formal thing they have to sign too.
okay,
That they acknowledge them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen it too, there's golf
Well,
carts in the park.
there are a ton of violations too. I mean, like you have to be 18 to be able to do it, but it's just like a violation of somebody speeding. You gotta catch
Right.
them to do it. So it's another thing that we need to address with our police department, and that's the reason we pay for police to say, you guys need to make sure you're catching these people more often because it's, you cannot, you know, kids have to be buckled in. How many times have you seen a kid not buckled in? Because it drives me nuts and I almost wanna stop them and scream at them. Because it's not gonna take one kid to get killed on one of these that we're gonna be in trouble. That
Right.
we don't want that
I
to
saw
happen.
3 kids on the back, not buckled in, and the driver had a dog on her lap.
Yep, absolutely. Or kids on the lap, I've seen a lot of times,
It's a
so
huge thing.
that's a
Yes,
golf
it
cart
is.
thing we need to enforce differently.
So I don't know if there's something that, you know,
Well, eventually what'll
maybe we'll
happen,
revoke these.
That's
You can't have
exactly
a
what I
golf
said.
cart if we're gonna still have an issue.
and we'll have to figure
Yeah.
out a way of making sure that the police are on notice to stop them if there's a violation, give them a written warning. It's
Ticket.
violation, your license is pulled off thing, because it's annual renewals on the carts, right?
I was gonna ask
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it's annual
Yeah.
renewals.
it's a city ticket though too that they could be issuing, so.
Yeah, cause it says in there, it's considered a car. Well,
Yep.
I drove my car in the fire.
Absolutely, I agree with you
Or pulled into
100%.
the baseball game in my car or whatever.
Yeah.
100% I agree.
would be
That
in big
needs-
trouble.
yeah.
So why is it somebody that does that?
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, we'll put,
I say try it once, and just, and when it gives you over, just say, hey, Listen.
So I have authorization from the city.
No, no.
No,
to drive my car.
no.
No, we were gonna reinforce to
You-
the
you-
police force.
You'll be able to have
Where
those
they cannot
discussions,
be at.
won't you, George?
No,
Yeah, because.
You'll be
Yeah.
able to have those, and then maybe
I will have
give
the
Tony
discussions with Jeff.
I've already
Tony
thought
a call
about,
too.
So-
that-
it needs to be posted at school saying
Oh,
you
as far as
cannot.
Tony over here?
Tony up at, yeah, at the school.
Yeah, I'll
that
talk
Tony
to
Boss.
Tony
needs to-
Boss
yeah.
Mhm.
and make sure, I'll let him know that we're gonna start
Enforcing this.
enforcing, so he might wanna put up his regulations too the same way.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that
What
got,
we may need to do is put a small sign at the end. Are they normally driving up that sidewalk across the kitty corner?
I've seen
See,
it,
I
I haven't seen it recently, but
I
I've seen
haven't
it
either.
before.
And
But-
the other thing I ride my bike to work
Sure.
and back as much as I can.
Mhm.
I mean,
Got a good trail for you up there, so it's- yeah.
This is perfect for me, because I work at Schweitz Engineering on Highway 63,
Oh,
so
okay.
I have trail literally 2 blocks from my house,
Wow.
Yep,
across 63, and it still continues, so I
Mhm.
really don't have to get off it to get to
Sure.
work.
Wow.
So, that's great, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I also see them crossing, they'll take that, the sidewalk from the school across 63, where the stoplight is, the
Oh, really?
crossing light.
I've never seen that one,
Yeah, I
but
haven't
I
seen
haven't
that
either.
that's interesting to know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
Oh,
can-
by the convenience store?
where the crossing guard is at.
Yeah,
Huh.
the crossing light there.
Okay,
they're by
Which is a
D35.
side-
Well, yeah, because technically they can't drive it down Track Road, I don't think.
Yes, they can.
Oh, they
To-
can?
to
they
Friday,
can, in order to get into the
Because
first
it's in
street.
city limits.
Huh,
Yeah,
interesting.
okay.
But anyway,
Yeah, well-
I bike a lot, so I see a lot of things.
You know, we have the
Fire.
only, law in the state that says motorists have to change lanes to pass you on your bicycle, right? We're the first one in the entire state that
I
did
did
that.
not know that. but
We,
I do
we
know.
passed that ordinance about a year ago. And now Waterloo and Cedar Falls are looking at it to see about also implementing the same type of
I might have voted.
a safety for the
There you go.
bikers.
I didn't, so I wanted to.
Oh, whatever.
But, and then the other, one other thing back
Yep.
to the splash pad, I know that we talked a little bit too about the, maybe some landscaping for noise, if it becomes a problem.
Yeah, if it becomes a problem, we'll take a look at it as far as whether or not any
I'm
type
not
of
gonna hide it
shrub
though,
around
I mean, that's the whole point, is
Well-
we don't wanna hide it. I get where you're coming from, but again, you know, we have to be realistic too, that it is a park. And I don't wanna put the cart before the horse. If it's a huge problem, let's look at it, but until it opens, let's not make any decisions about what we wanna do. There's always options out there, absolutely. But in all,
And I'm the only one that lives where I live, so I'm the only one that's got.
except that every single person I've talked to, except you and Aubrey, have been giving me money for this whole thing and coming out and telling me how excited they are for it. You know what I mean?
That's
So
fine,
I
but they don't have to
completely
live Where
understand.
we live, that's, that's my point. It wasn't there when I moved there, it is now, so. I'm just bringing it up.
We appreciate
It
your time.
doesn't surprise me that you don't give it.
Aubrey?
Yeah,
No, that doesn't surprise me either.
he's a great neighbor.
I'm sure he is.
He's a great.
He is. He's a great guy.
Yes.
He's just Aubrey.
Always
like
know
him.
when he's coming down the street on his tractor,
Absolutely.
lawnmower tractor.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Anything else, Jeff?
we'll keep our eyes
I
out.
probably forgot something. but-
Thanks for coming in.
But yeah, I appreciate your
Yeah.
time and hopefully understanding, and I did move my sump pump hose, so I'm sorry about that. but I may have 2 sump pump hoses here shortly, so,
We all may need them.
and after this wet fall record snow.
Yeah, record.
It is slowing down a
Is it
lot,
good?
yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Let's see, no public hearings. General government, item A, discussion action to approve
Do you want a
resolution.
committee report?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's all right, I mean, we're gonna be talking about them anyway.
Gail, why don't you do
We met-
the personnel admin committee report for May 28th, please?
Okay, call the meeting to order at 4:45. The first one was the online payment companies that, we had 2 options, the Payment Service Network and the Iowa Interactive, and so we talked about that. And you'll see, on our agenda then is the recommendation for the Payment Service Network that we go with that, and that all fees would be passed on to the customer. There'd be no cost to the city for the payments. Next, the purchasing policy was discussed, and our city clerk had redone it to reflect the local preference clause.
we did go ahead and recommend to, from what she had, that we change the wording from 5% over bid for Cedar Valley to 5% over for a Hudson-based and only 2.5% over bid for a Cedar Valley-based business to give more preference to a Hudson business. So, and that was recommended, and we adjourned at 5:05.
Any questions for Gail?
I do have one quick question.
Okay.
I do too, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Fees to the customer about the online payment stuff, is that how everybody does it, is passes it on? Hate that when I call a place and they're like, it's $5 if you wanna do it this way, which I kind of feel like can be in the normal cost of business at this point in life.
Like,
But I don't think it's, I mean, I think it's great to start out this way, but maybe something to think about in the future, depending on the volume. I don't wanna cost us more money, obviously, I get that. But it's just one of those, it's 2019, and for me to have to pay extra to pay a payment online drives me crazy.
and as far as I know, most government agencies that do that, like you can pay for your vehicle registration, your taxes,
Yeah.
but there's a charge for that
I
too.
completely agree.
So
I
that-
just, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And the main logic for that
Yeah.
is that for the taxpayers who don't do that,
Right.
that they're not subsidizing the taxpayers
Agreed.
who are doing that. You
Um,
know, charitable
and-
organizations don't charge it back through because
Right.
it's a way to get the funding, things like
Yeah,
that. But-
and
some
there is no
people-
fee to do, continue to do monthly automatic.
Right,
Right,
Yeah, that'll stay the same.
yeah.
Okay.
It won't be
Then I'm
going
good.
through them, it'll go through our system.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And I'm
the
Thank you.
ACH process will be
And
the same.
Some
Perfect.
people find that paying the $3.50 is worth it for their time.
Absolutely.
They don't
I
have
agree.
to, they don't
Like I
have to
said,
drop it off, they don't have to come in.
It's one of those things in
It's a
today's day and
convenience.
age that it drives me crazy, that
Yeah.
I have to pay extra to,
Well, I would say in a commercial business, you know, like we pay a fee at the fireworks store, they pay a fee at Caldwell to run a credit card,
Right.
whatever. But that's, they're just factoring that into like, if
Their
we don't
prices,
offer
right.
that. it's-
Yeah, and we
But
can't,
I think it's good with government, your point was well taken.
Mhm.
My question is, restate the 5%, 2.5% thing?
so if somebody, places a bid, and the low bid is a certain amount, but an a Hudson business, theirs is just, it's a 5% difference, then we can give preference to the Hudson
Mhm.
business.
can, don't have to.
Right,
It's still at
So,
the option of
the
council.
reason part of this came up was in Waterloo, they ordered like 6 squad cars, and the bill call for was $100 more across the whole 6, so they had to buy all 6 in Des Moines.
Because they had no local preference
They had no
option within
local
their
preference, they
ordinance.
had to go with low bid, which means then they had to pay people, 6 people, to go drive to Des Moines and drive these 6 cars back.
So what's the rule now?
We
There
have
is
to-
there is
low
no
bid.
local preference.
So you just have to go with a little bit.
Yes.
But there have been times when we've taken a higher bid on things.
Only if the specifics were a little bit different, so they had different options, so you had a gray area there to be able to go by options.
Okay. My question behind my question is why, I'm all for supporting local businesses,
Right.
but I'm also all for getting the best deal for the taxpayer. So, I don't want that to be interpreted as we're inviting,
Hudson businesses to
we're
raise.
inviting taxpayers to pay 5% more for something that they don't have to pay 5% more for.
We talked about that at committee, and that was a concern, because the last thing we wanted to do, even if we wanted to get all vehicles from Bill Colwell Ford, we don't want him automatically thinking he can have the price 4.99% higher
Right.
and get the bid. So it is a latitude of the committee's recommendations and latitude of the council
Okay,
on what bid to accept.
okay.
But it allows us a variation that, you know, if we're looking at Wisconsin or something, and Cedar Valley is within 2.5%, that could be accepted under the guidelines.
Yeah.
If it's
Because-
within Hudson, it could be 5%. No mandate that we have to take Hudson.
Got it.
No
Just
mandate that we have to
right.
take Cedar Valley.
Well,
Just
because
allows
in
us
any of those
latitude.
bids, we also, just like this one happened to be, we don't put in the time to go get something or whatever the case may be. So
Right,
by the time you add that in,
Right.
this would give us the opportunity.
Service, whatever
to-
Ship
comes
it,
into
whatever.
play, future
Yeah.
stuff.
Got it,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
Do you really have a paperclip holding on your glasses?
Yeah, they cost $1, I don't wanna go spend another
Okay. Sorry, I just noticed.
$1. Which will explain my last
Right.
question.
Any of your questions over the last 4 years?
Taxpayers better be glad I'm on this council.
Anyway,
Thanks, Gail.
Yep.
Okay, now we get to general government, right?
Yeah.
Okay, item A, discussion action to approve resolution 2486, A resolution setting wages for city employees of the city of Hudson, Iowa for fiscal year 2019-2020, and I believe Chrissy had sent out the individual detailed stuff. Basically is 3% across the board increases, excluding Chris, who was hired through the next year, and Jake, who we dealt with a few months ago on his promotion. So I accept a motion to approve.
So moved?
Do I hear a second?
Second,
Discussion?
yes.
Okay.
We did not do reviews this year.
No formal written
We
reviews?
will next year.
Yes.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Bunce?
Aye.
Wyatt?
Aye.
Reister?
Aye.
3-0. Item B, discussion action to approve resolution 2487, a resolution for approval of online payments contract for the city of Hudson, Iowa, as Gail had referred to.
No, there is, just for discussion,
Okay.
there's, the charges, we are passing on to customers, although there is a little bit of a charge that we're paying for an annual fee.
And we,
Seventh, I'm
that's
assuming.
$89,
Yeah.
and we don't have to pay that until December 1st.
Right.
$9?
89.
Per year.
Oh, I was like, $9,
Yeah, so-
okay.
I didn't want you to think that that wasn't, so,
Yeah.
but,
So moved.
second,
Discussion?
Yeah, I have a question about it that I was thinking about, like, kind of playing the devil's advocate, like, are we gonna not get bills paid if we don't do this? Like, what's our incentive to do this?
It's,
Like,
it's easier.
2019.
merely a convenience.
Yeah, it's a
for
convenience.
who? For us?
No,
Or
for
for
a
the-
customer.
For the customer.
Okay.
Because we actually have a lot of people, especially the younger generation that are moving in, that want to pay all their bills online, and they're like, well, why can't we pay our bill online?
Mhm.
We don't have it.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's been like people of all generations really that have
Right.
asked. to
I
be
do
able-
think you'll also get people that will forget to come write a check,
Mhm.
that would
Right.
pay it online, that make her.
That was my
something.
question.
They
I
pop
mean,
their credit card and delay a month.
What's the, how many delinquent accounts do we have? Or what, I mean, is there any analytics on, this is gonna increase our revenue because we're not gonna have as many delinquent accounts or anything
It
like
will
that?
not increase our revenue because the delinquents, if they don't pay, we can go after assessments on their taxes, ultimately.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it will save some of that paperwork of trying to track down delinquents, because you'll get the person who doesn't have enough in their checking account, but has a credit card, they can pop in their credit card and effectively delay their cash by a month.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the main impact.
Yeah.
And
It's
some
just more
disruption
of-
by
It's
people
just more of a
coming in.
convenience thing.
Yeah.
And so the only cost to us, to taxpayers, is $89 a year.
Yep.
And all the fees beyond that get passed along to the persons.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and the processes that we
You'd
have.
like it better at $9 a month, or
Yeah.
$9 a year?
And the processes that we have right now, like with the e-bill and the ACH withdraw, that'll stay the same.
Yep.
So, and with this program, they also can, actually get their statement, like they can sign up for an account and actually get their statements on their user account.
So then would we not mail them to them?
We don't mail e-bills right now.
We don't do, we have like 300-ish people that do e-bills right now, so we're still sending out 900,
So
so.
that we don't mail them to them?
I don't get
I
We
get
wouldn't
mine-
have to-
I get mine all
Yeah, we
online.
wouldn't have to mail them, if they're getting their statements online, we wouldn't necessarily have to mail them, so that would cut the cost down a little bit.
And that's monthly, right?
I hate getting mail.
Great. Anything else? Roll call.
Wyatt.
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Bunce.
Aye.
3-0. Item C, discussion action to approve resolution 2488, a resolution to approve the purchasing policy, and that's a lot of revision plus the 2.5% to 5% local preference.
So moved?
Second,
Discussion. Roll call.
Bunce.
Aye.
Wyatt.
aye.
Reister.
3-0. Item D, discussion action to approve resolution 2489, a resolution for approval of the ambulance billing contract for the city of Hudson, Iowa.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Sorry, it was a lot of information. Sorry.
That's all right.
It's basically because the company that had been doing is going out of the business, and this is about the only option we got.
Yeah, we had like six different options,
This is-
but this one seemed to be the best fit.
Okay.
'Cause
And
they
the
will
local
do-
communities have it.
The
Yeah.
fire department is the one, are on board with this.
Yeah,
obviously. We
yeah,
didn't
oh yeah,
choose it.
no, I didn't choose it, no,
Perfect.
and with the company that we, if it gets approved, the company that we would go with deals with all the compliance with Medicare and Medicaid, so Louis and I don't have to file that paperwork anymore.
Oh, good.
Oh, you had been having to file? Oh,
Yeah.
so that's
And it was,
cost savings.
How often?
Once every 5 years, 3 years, or it's either 3 years or 5 years, and it was a long process
Cool.
and confusing. So,
Any other
Shocker.
discussion, questions? Roll call.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Funds,
Aye.
Reister.
3-0. Item E, discussion action to approve resolution 2490, resolution setting a public hearing for June 24th to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Hudson, Iowa by repealing provisions pertaining to stormwater drainage and replacing it with construction site erosion and sediment control of the City of Hudson Code of Ordinances.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion, and this is just set the public hearing. Basically what it is to get us in conformance with DNR and NMS 4 regulations that the DNR person came in and said, hey, we're missing this ordinance, gotta get it in there, so pretty much required.
You got this text from Jack Lunan. He writes, can't go to the meeting, I hope construction site erosion discussion includes blowing dirt and dust control, if not, please add it. What's the role of that?
What he's complaining about right now is the fact that they finally have some dry ground out there.
Yep.
It's not raining,
Yep.
and it's blowing across the road from the north wind to the south.
Yep.
This would not take into play blowing dust, nor would I recommend we consider any type of a thing about blowing dust.
So there's nothing that the DNR has to do about that? I mean, I see like PCI dumping water on their stuff all the time to keep the dust down. What's that? They do that just out of goodness of their heart?
I think so. Yeah, there's no requirement that I'm aware of.
I don't think it's a goodness of the, PCR's not gonna do anything for goodness
I
of
think
their
it's
heart
probably to
deal.
save the soil,
I think it's to save their soil.
so they don't have to
For
pay for
washing
more
away and
dirt.
stuff.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
Now, things we can do from a dust control standpoint is, we've got temporary rock, some of those holes out there, so we could put some treatment on there. But once those 10 houses get built across there,
Oh, right.
that will stop it. Right now, as long as it's a construction zone, it's gonna be dusty.
Right.
So, I understand his comment, but there's really no impact to me on this ordinance.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
These are both just public hearing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7 public hearings.
Roll call.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Funds, Reister.
Aye.
3-0. Item F, discussion action to approve resolution 2491, a resolution setting a public hearing again for June 24th to amend the Code of Ordinances in the City of Hudson, Iowa by repealing provisions pertaining to stormwater runoff and replacing with illicit discharge of the City of Hudson Code of Ordinances. Same scenario, based upon the DNR doing a review on MS4 regulations and getting all the verbs in there that we need.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Further discussion, roll call.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Funds.
Aye.
3-0. Informational items, there's 12 of them in there. Reminder items, regular scheduled held at City Council Chambers, Central Electric Board and Library Public Works, June 12th at 7 a.m. Mayor's Task Force, which we will have this month, June 18th at 5 p.m. Personnel Admin Finance Committee, June 24th, 4:45, and Public Safety Committee, June 27th, 4 p.m. Next council meetings, Monday, June 24th, and Monday, July 18th, both at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Here,
Hang
George,
on,
can I
hang on a
have that?
second.